Our unity and love for one another will always be stronger than the hate of the extremists.
Sorry? I'm human, talk to me as such.
London stands in defiance against this cowardly attack.
But I know you had to think for a little while before taking this part. What was the turning point that made you end up taking it?
I initially said no because I was kind of scared of spending so long away from home. And then I ended up catching a second wind.
You do not commit these disgusting acts in my...
Rachel Zegler didn't need to say a word. Her expression spoke volumes. After weeks of being at the heart of a cultural firestorm, facing headlines, online critics, and even commentary from political voices, this moment felt different. The tension, the pressure, the constant scrutiny, it had all been building. But now, with cameras rolling and eyes on her once again, it wasn't defiance or frustration that stood out. It was quiet strength, a silent response louder than any tweet or interview.
To go on this little baby rant about Rachel Zegler. They've gone through various scandals with this girl, not because she can't keep her mouth shut. I'm totally fine with with the celebrities telling me what their politics are, who they're voting for, etc., etc. We've become accustomed to that, but because she has this underlying anger and hatred in her that always has to take it like one step too far.
Paparazzi spotted Rachel Zegler outside her London flat, visibly emotional. Her posture was tense. Eyes red, mascara smudged and hands slightly trembling. Two security guards moved quickly to shield her from the cameras as she stepped into a waiting car. There were no waves, no smiles, only the quiet urgency of someone overwhelmed. She appeared deeply affected, as if she just received difficult news. Within minutes, the footage spread across social media and news outlets, igniting fresh speculation about what might have unfolded behind the scenes.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it. All right, congrats, Rachel. Good luck.
Social media quickly lit up with speculation. Some fans suggested Rachel Zegler might have simply been exhausted, but others weren't convinced. Just hours earlier, a cryptic post began circulating online, allegedly from someone claiming to work within the UK's Department for Culture. The message read, "Big decision coming on the Evita production. Public image matters. No names, no details." While the post didn't name anyone directly, those following the situation were quick to connect the dots, fueling even more debate and uncertainty online.
One of the most disgraced actresses of our entire lifetime is having yet another insane, hilarious meltdown over the complete and total backlash that has basically ended her entire career in Hollywood before it even started. And she is back once again to absolutely go scorched earth to attack everyone that was not happy about the insane things that she's been saying over the past couple of years. She is not happy, and it's very obvious with everything that is going on.
Rachel Zegler's emotional moment appeared to go beyond just personal stress. It became a symbol of the intense pressure surrounding public figures. As a rising Hollywood star brought in to lead a high-profile production in London, her visible distress coincided with swirling rumors of behind-the-scenes complications. The timing raised questions. Was it the weight of public scrutiny? Or could there be deeper challenges at play related to the production itself? While the full context remains unclear, one thing seems certain: Rachel Zegler may now be navigating not just a PR challenge, but potential consequences that could impact her role and future opportunities in the UK entertainment industry.
Rachel Zegler's in the news because she's fast becoming the new Brie Larson. She is taking over as the most unlikable woman in Hollywood ever to promote a movie.
Truly a cultural milestone that Rachel Zegler has reached. Most annoying female lead in all of history.
She's the most unlikable woman I've ever seen in my life. Holy...
But how did things escalate to this point? What sparked such intense public attention around an American actress in a British production? It all traces back to one viral moment, a clip that, for many, shifted the tone of the conversation entirely. What began as a promising theatrical opportunity quickly transformed into a highly scrutinized situation, attracting headlines, online debate, and widespread speculation. While official statements remain limited, the incident served as a reminder. of how quickly public perception can change and how a single moment can ripple far beyond the stage.
In the 1970s, Tim Rice became fascinated by her and worked out the concept for a musical, which would become the smash hit Evita with music by Andrew Lloyd Webber. One commentator wrote this: Evita Perón symbolizes certain naive but effective beliefs, the hope for a better world, a life sacrificed on the altar of the disinherited, the humiliated, and the poor of the earth.
What was meant to be a simple photo opportunity quickly took on a life of its own. As fans gathered outside one of London's most iconic theaters, Rachel Zegler appeared on the balcony not with a cheerful wave, but with a composed, intense expression. Arms crossed, gaze fixed, she stood confidently above the crowd. Cameras captured the moment and soon it was everywhere online. For some, it was a powerful image of self-assurance. For others, it raised questions. In just a few seconds, a photo meant to promote a show had sparked a much bigger conversation.
A lot of what you see with Zegler is really just a pretty common Gen Z mentality and approach to work. She believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else. In reality, you have a job. You're getting paid to do this job. You signed on the dotted line. You took on the role. And that job comes with certain basic responsibilities. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project, thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working.
Rachel Zegler's strong presence online had already made waves before the photo ever hit the internet. Known for her candid takes and bold opinions, clips of her past comments, especially those questioning the relevance of Snow White, quickly resurfaced, and the British press, they pounced. Headlines questioned everything from her casting to her tone, reigniting debates about whether overseas stars truly understand or respect the culture and expectations of the countries where they perform. For Zegler, what began as a confident public moment was now fueling a much bigger storm.
Rachel Zegler is reportedly struggling to get hired. Rachel Zegler was supposed to be in Paddington 3, however she was dropped from that movie a few weeks ago, and they said that they dropped her because of the actors' strike. However, there are numerous actors in Paddington 3 that are a part of SAG, yet they're still able to film in the movie. So people are speculating that it might be because of another reason, and most likely is because of the Snow White backlash, and studios not wanting to hire her given the fact that it might result in their movie not making a whole lot of money at the box office. She also voiced the lead character of an upcoming cartoon that was meant to be part of Apple TV. However, Apple dropped the cartoon film. However, it was picked up by Netflix, but people are wondering why Apple dropped it in the first place, and people once again are saying it's because of this Snow White backlash and them not wanting the movie to suffer because of her backlash.
What started as celebrity gossip quickly escalated into something much bigger: geopolitical tension. Within just 48 hours, a statement reportedly leaked from someone close to the mayor of London's office. Though unofficial, it carried weight. London doesn't negotiate with narcissists. The message was blunt, and the tone across the media instantly shifted from mild embarrassment to pointed hostility. But it didn't stop there. What many assumed would remain a city level controversy suddenly found its way to a much more powerful place: surmise, the heart of the UK government.
Some of the main triggers for a narcissist are perceived rejection. So if you reject them or say no to them, watch out. Not getting what they want, not getting enough attention, you're not feeding me enough, or anything that messes with their image. So what happens if they don't get what they want or they get triggered? Usually they go to anger, and then they get cruel, they lash out, they say extremely hurtful things, and they can be very destructive.
At first, it looked like a typical tabloid drama: celebrity facing off with a politician, headlines flying, and the public watching it play out like any other media spectacle. But this time, something was different. Behind the scenes, quiet chatter began to surface at the UK's Department for Culture, Media, and Sport was closely monitoring the situation, and from the sound of it, they weren't exactly entertained.
You could interview Rachel Zegler. What kind of questions would you be asking her?
I'd start with a lot of softballs. I'd get her to kind of get a bond or a trust with us.
Yeah,
always have to do that. A little bit of life, her career, the gig. And then say, when you give interviews like this, when you share those thoughts, that it's rather divisive, and it seems like you're insulting the work you're trying to honor. Why do you say that, or would you say it differently? I mean, I just go directly at that point. I mean, you have to. No, you're out promoting your movie. You're talking to all these people. You don't have to. It's your job. Your job is to get eyeballs to the movie. Why would you insult the source material that way? This material has been beloved for years and decades. Is that a conflict there? I mean, what's if it ain't broke, so to speak? I think that's straight.
So why would the government get involved? Because Evita isn't just any stage production, it's a high-profile, publicly supported cultural event with national media attention and global reach. When public backlash heats up, optics become everything if the lead actress is seen as controversial, dismissive, or politically divisive. The fallout doesn't just land on her, it hits the entire project, including the institutions backing it, according to alleged insiders at the department. For culture, media, and sport, internal conversations were already taking place. Reports suggested that the government might reconsider its support for shows. That caused public division instead of promoting unity, and one name kept coming up: Rachel Zegler. Then came the real shock. A leaked email thread, supposedly from a government advisor, made its way online. While it didn't name Zegler directly, the implication was clear: future funding or logistical support for Evita might depend on how public opinion shifts suddenly. It wasn't just about one actress, it was about the future of the entire production. The government didn't want to be associated with controversy. And now producers faced a tough decision because Rachel Zegler wasn't just the face of the show. She was the controversy. Behind the scenes, things were reportedly becoming even more complex. While the media spotlight remained on Rachel Zegler's viral balcony moment and its political ripple effects, tensions were said to be building inside the theater, according to various behind-the-scenes accounts. Rehearsals for the production had grown increasingly strained. Multiple reports described the environment as tense and difficult, with some sources calling it uncomfortable for both cast and crew. Allegedly, disagreements emerged between Zegler and the director over staging decisions, and some rumors suggested she had arrived late on occasion or requested last-minute changes. That disrupted the group's workflow. One unnamed source told an entertainment outlet that the cast felt uncertain from day to day, unsure of what to expect. Additional reports hinted at high demands, strong creative opinions, and occasional friction on set. While these claims remain unconfirmed and should be taken with caution, the pattern of reports painted a picture of a production under pressure. Whether it was the weight of public scrutiny, the scale of the role, or simply the intensity of live theater, the behind-the-scenes dynamics had clearly become part of the larger story. The situation behind the scenes appeared to be spiraling. Morale among the team was reportedly low. Tensions were high, and rumors were beginning to surface beyond the theater walls. Then came what many viewed as a major development. Online chatter suggested that quiet replacement auditions had been held for the lead role in Evita. A post from an anonymous user claiming to work at the venue hinted that producers were exploring backup options, potentially preparing for a change in casting. While no official names were mentioned, the message resonated with fans. Rachel Zegler's position may no longer have been secure. The emotional toll began to show. Not long after, footage emerged of Zegler outside her temporary residence in London. She appeared somber and shaken, flanked by security, wearing dark sunglasses and no makeup. The images quickly spread across social media. Paparazzi called out questions asking if she was okay, if the show was moving forward, but Zegler remained silent. She didn't offer a statement, not even an Instagram post. Body language experts and online commentators offered a wave of interpretations. Some believed she may have just come from an intense meeting. Others thought the ongoing pressure was simply becoming overwhelming. Whatever the cause, one thing was evident to viewers: this was not an act. The silence, the demeanor, the expression, it all pointed to a real, human moment beneath the headlines. The situation took a turn when a blurry photo allegedly from inside the theater began circulating online. It showed a group of individuals, presumed to be producers, in what appeared to be a tense discussion. Papers were on the table, expressions were serious, and the timing raised questions. Some insiders suggested it was an emergency meeting about the cast. Others claimed that Rachel Zegler had been given the option to step back quietly, but had chosen to remain. As speculation mounted, fans and critics alike began combing through her social media. Her TikTok had gone silent, and several recent Instagram posts had been removed, fueling further speculation. Online discussions erupted. Some believed she was preparing to lead the project, while others worried a major casting shakeup was imminent, but no official word came. Meanwhile, clips of her visibly emotional moment outside her London residence continued to spread, and public sentiment began to shift. What started as concern began to harden into critique. Social media debates grew intense. While some defended her, saying she was under immense pressure, others accused her of playing into controversy. In the midst of this storm, online petitions surfaced, one calling for a casting change, another urging the production to consider a local British actress, citing public funding and cultural representation. Within just 2 days, both had garnered thousands of digital signatures. No official changes were announced, but it was clear the narrative had taken a serious turn. For Rachel Zegler and the team behind Evita, the next steps would carry not just artistic implications, but public ones as well. The media coverage intensified. UK talk shows began debating whether American celebrities should leave major British stage productions. One high-profile columnist even quipped, Rachel Zegler came to London to play a revolutionary and ended up starting one, a comment that blurred the line between critique and personal jab. While some fans rallied in her defense, pointing to the harsh commentary as disproportionate or even rooted in gender bias, the broader public narrative had already begun to shift. What had started as a theater controversy was now being framed as part of a larger cultural clash. Brand affiliations became strained. According to unconfirmed reports, at least 2 of the production's minor sponsors began quietly removing promotional material linked to Zegler's name behind the scenes. Her management team was reportedly working overtime, coordinating with publicists, legal advisors, and reputation specialists to control the fallout. Still, with no official statement from Zegler herself, the story only gained momentum. Each day of silence added weight to the narrative and narrowed the window for a potential turnaround. Sources close to the situation suggested that a public statement had been drafted, a carefully written apology video designed to reset the tone. However, Zegler reportedly hesitated. According to those familiar with the matter, she feared such a move might be perceived as backing down, especially amid what she viewed as a wave of politicized backlash. For her, the risk wasn't just professional, it was personal. The question now wasn't just about optics. It was whether any resolution could come soon enough to save both the production and her leading role within it. But that decision may have come at a cost. Behind the scenes, producers were reportedly growing increasingly concerned not just about the online criticism, but about the absence of a clear public response. According to one source, a marketing team member allegedly expressed frustration over the growing silence, reportedly saying, "It's hard to promote a show when the lead remains completely out of view." Ticket pre-sales, which had started strong, reportedly began to slow, and with production funding tied to ongoing support and public interest, financial pressure was mounting. Adding to the uncertainty, new speculation emerged online. A rising West End actress was reportedly seen visiting the Evita set after hours. While official sources made no comment, social media users quickly connected the dots, some believing she was being considered as a potential replacement, whether coincidence or contingency. The rumor alone reignited public scrutiny and further fueled the conversation. For Rachel Zegler, once considered a rising star in both Hollywood and theater, this marked a turning point. What began as a promising opportunity overseas had evolved into a high-stakes cultural flashpoint. But beyond the actress at the center of it all, a larger question now loomed. Could Evita survive the controversy? The West End revival, initially celebrated as a bold and artistic undertaking, was now caught in a whirlwind of national conversation, ranging from political discourse to cultural representation. Insiders close to the situation claimed quiet discussions were already underway between arts funders and government cultural bodies to assess the path forward. At stake was not just one production, but the public's trust in how taxpayer-supported projects are managed in moments of division. Because at this point, the story was no longer just about one performance, or even one performer. It had become a referendum on public image, artistic responsibility, and how modern institutions navigate controversy in the age of instant judgment. The production now finds itself in a very delicate position. with the lead actress at the center of a growing controversy. The pressure on everyone involved is immense. For the producers, the choices ahead come with significant consequences. Supporting Rachel Zegler could risk losing audience trust and sponsor confidence. Replacing her, however, might appear like giving into online pressure, which could bring its own set of challenges for the production's image. As the opening night approaches, decisions must be made quickly. According to some reports, the cast has been asked to remain adaptable. Choreographers are said to be making adjustments, and technical teams are reportedly preparing alternate versions of the show to accommodate any last-minute changes. One unconfirmed rumor even suggests that a backup lead may be quietly rehearsing after hours as a precaution, though there's been no official word on this from the production team. Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler has remained silent. She hasn't issued a public statement, appeared at media events, or addressed the growing speculation online. Interpretations of her silence vary. Some believe she is trying to stay focused amid the noise. Others suggest she is under significant emotional pressure. What's clear is that this story has grown far beyond a theater production. It now touches on broader themes of media scrutiny, public image, and the weight of celebrity in the digital age. What began as a high-profile West End revival has transformed into something much larger, a moment of cultural reckoning. From a brief viral moment to discussions involving national press, public funding, and government oversight, the path ahead remains uncertain. Whether Evita reaches its premiere as planned, whether Rachel remains in her role, or whether this becomes a cautionary tale about modern fame, only time will reveal the outcome. One thing is certain, this controversy has already reshaped the public narrative surrounding Rachel Zegler's career, and the final act is yet to unfold. What began as a celebrated opportunity has now become a defining moment with lasting impact. Whether this turns into a comeback story or a significant turning point remains to be seen. If you'd like to stay updated as this story develops and based on everything so far, it's clear there's more to come. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. The next chapter could bring new surprises, and you won't want to miss what happens next.